everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Thanksgiving's just around the corner. A lot of people are going to be coming to the store, coming to my department, looking for wines to match with Thanksgiving. Maybe you already have your matches, but here are a few suggestions that I have. One's traditional, two not so traditional. Now, I've heard a lot of different suggestions about what goes with turkey dinner, and the traditional, and we'll talk about why these would work really well with that meal. So the first episode will be on reds, and then tomorrow will be on whites. Back-to-back episodes. I haven't done that in a while. So we're going to start right off with the 2021 Imagery Pinot Noir by Benziger. This is a California Pinot Noir. It rolls in at $13. I always like to keep the price under $25 because, let's say, sometimes you have a lot of people there. You don't want to bust the bank just in wine. I mean, the Thanksgiving meal costs enough all by itself, right? So try to find more reasonably priced wines. I tend to go with California Pinot Noir because it's a little juicier. That's why I go with it. The Thanksgiving meal is quite subtle, savory and subtle flavors in Thanksgiving meal, sans cranberry sauce. I like cranberry sauce, but there's not too many wines that go with that. So I tend to choose a Pinot Noir from California because it's a little more fruit forward, which I think you need a little bit of that juiciness to go with that meal, but still subtle enough to match up with the flavors of Thanksgiving dinner. Let's look at the color on this. A little bit darker, which you'd expect from a California Pinot Noir. There's a few from Oregon, of course, that would fall into the category perhaps juicier. I try to stay away from acidic Pinot Noir. So I tend not to go to Burgundy, although I do have a couple from Burgundy, but they tend to be a little bit more money. So let's go with California this time. Let's see what we get on those. So immediately get like a really nice cherry, ripe cherries. A little bit of Asian spice on this, which is really cool for $13. We get a touch of tea, cherries, and a little Asian spice. Let's see what we get on the palate. Just a nice, smooth, easy to drink Pinot Noir, which is exactly what you want with Thanksgiving. I get dark cherry, a little bit of acidity, but it's very mild, nicely integrated into the wine. Nice flow across the palate. I get a little black tea on the finish. It has a little earthiness to it, which I think is very beneficial to pair up with Thanksgiving. So Imagery Pinot Noir is my pick. One of my 3 picks for red wines for Thanksgiving. It's probably fairly easy to find. Benziger is a big winery, but I think it's the daughter that makes this wine. So, or the sister or daughter? Yeah, very smooth. A little Asian spice come through barely on the back end of this one. This would be beautiful. $13, good Pinot Noir, solid. I'm going to go B plus on this Pinot. I like it a lot. Of course I'm going to go B plus. I picked it, so there you go. No, very, very nice Pinot, very light, but enough juice, enough juiciness to enhance the Thanksgiving dinner. And we're talking traditional Thanksgiving. Turkey, green bean casserole, stuffing, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, all of that. All those good things that go with Thanksgiving. Even a little bit of red flour, which I really, really enjoy. Yeah, B plus for this Pinot, $13. B plus Pinot Noir for $13. You're not going to find a lot of those, I promise. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is where I step away from traditional, although there's probably some wine stewards, sommeliers out there that go this route. But I think Grenache is a terrific matchup with turkey dinner. And I'm going to go 2 places. I'm going to the Rhone Valley, and this is in the Rhone Valley. This is Restau, 2019. La Reserve Saint Dominique Restau, and this goes in at $22. So this is the most expensive of the bunch, but $22 is not that terrible. And when you go with Rhone wine, go with a Grenache-based Rhone style wine, and this one is. This is 80% Grenache, 15% Syrah, 5% Mourvedre. Okay, so Grenache, I feel, now Grenache does have some tannins, but they're not super heavy. In this particular instance, they're not from these areas. I would shy away a little bit from Spain only because sometimes the Spanish Grenache, or as they say, Garnacha there, can be sort of minerally, earthy, sometimes tannic, so you got to be careful. You got to know which one you're going to there. I'm going to stick with the Saint Dominique Restau, 80% Grenache, very dark in color. Yeah, this is very, very dark purple. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has that old world kind of, you know, just a touch of funk, but not overpowering, so your guests will not go, ooh, what is this wine? They won't even hardly notice it. I'm getting a little bit of bark. I'm getting some almost hedging towards plum on this one. Plum and boysenberry. A little bit of earthiness on this one as well. I'm getting a little forest floor action. Also some red flowers. Let's see what we get on the palate. So I believe that Grenache is a nice match with the Thanksgiving meal. And I prefer it even over Zinfandel. A lot of people recommend Zinfandel. The only reason I don't do Zin anymore, sometimes the alcohol content can be way up there. And that, you know, I don't want to get drunk during Thanksgiving. I want to drink some wine, but I don't want to get tipsy. So I think Zinfandel, and sometimes for me, I haven't had good luck with Zinfandel. I don't know why, but I've tried it several times and I just haven't had good luck. But I have been really happy with Grenache. Very elegant, lighter on the palate, kind of like the Pinot Noir. Real earthiness on this one. I would decant this, not just uncork it. If you are going with the Saint Dominique, if you even care what I like with Thanksgiving, just saying, I would decant this. I opened up this about an hour ago. It needs some more breathing, but I get a little earthiness. The tannins are there, but they're lighter. They're not heavy tannins like a cab. I get the plum. I'm getting a little bit of strawberry on this one. Boysenberry. Very light red flower notes. I like it. And it's savory on the palate, which is perfect with Thanksgiving because a lot of the flavors of Thanksgiving fall into the savory category. So you have savory with savory. Really nice. Very earthy. Very complex. Like I said, there's even a little bit of chocolate on the very back end of this one, which I kind of like a cocoa powder more than chocolate. Let's just put it that way. Cocoa powder. There you go. This wine begs for food. I'm getting a little tannic grip on the backside, but it's certainly not going to distract from the meal. You know, most people put salt on their turkey. You know, this would match up well with salt. This is a food wine, and I think that this Restau from Saint Dominique would be a really nice match. I like the earthiness on the backside. I like that boysenberry kind of plum thing going on with a little bit of strawberry underneath. I like all of that. That's all really nice with Thanksgiving. I really like those red flower notes hit on the back of the mint palate, and a little bit of purple flower as well. Yes, I'm going to go straight up A on that. I think that's a very nice example of a Rhone wine, Restau. Restau is a region in the Rhone Valley, and this is 2019. Very nice wine, $22. Now, my favorite matchup is to go with domestic Grenache. New World Grenache. I think this would be for a crowd that likes old world wine. So let's look at this one. This is really the one I'm focusing on for my Thanksgiving dinner. 2020 Thurston Wolf Grenache, Horseheaven Hills Spice Cabinet Vineyards. This rolls in at $18. Love Thurston Wolf wines. He does a really good job with his wines. This is a lot lighter than the Restau, but still dark, but you can almost see through it. Let's see what we get on the nose. It has a spiciness on the nose, and that's the one thing about Grenache. It can be spicy. Like I said, the Ristal from Saint Dominique does need to be decanted. I should have decanted it for this episode, but I know a lot of people don't decant their wines, and I've always said with this program that I try to drink the wines the way most people will. But I will encourage you, if you go this route with any Rhone wine, it doesn't have to be Saint Dominique, but it can be any Rhone wine that is Grenache dominant. Definitely decant them because they need it. So this one's spicy on the nose. Almost candy-esque on the nose, really. Get a little strawberry, plum. I'm even getting a hint of licorice on this one. Maybe a touch, just a kiss of currants as well on this, which is interesting. But I'm going to stick mostly with strawberry, plum. Strawberry and plums are dominant with a little spicy action, a little candy-esque. Let's see what we get on the palate. I should have had this in front of the Old World one, even though I wasn't sure comparing the two. Nice and light, juicy fruit on this one, not over the top fruit. Very delicate, like the Imagery Pinot Noir. The Côte d'Ivoire is a little bit more complex, a little more guts to it, but it's still savory and will match up well. This one, I like the flavors in this kind of strawberry plum on the palate, a little bit of just a touch of licorice underneath, with a little bit of a kind of a milk chocolate thing going on the finish. A little spice comes through on the backside of this one right at the very end. I love this wine. This is like Thanksgiving juice for sure. So there you have my three reds. I'm going to go A on the Thurston Wolf Grenache as well. I like the delicate complexity of that wine. I like the juiciness of the fruit that goes good with the meal. It has a long finish. I'm still tasting kind of the strawberry plum thing going on the finish. Delicious. A 10 in the delicious category. I'm going to go at A on that one. A, B+. Good lineup. These are my picks for red wines at Thanksgiving this year. Could change next year. You never know. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I appreciate your support. If you haven't yet, think about subscribing to my channel. That would be very cool. I love the fact that I'm growing in subscribers. It makes me feel good, and I like the fact that so many people like the content on this episode. If you would like to drop a comment about what you prefer for Thanksgiving, because you know what? It's very subjective. These are just my picks. These are the direction I would lead people if they were asking me in my department. But, you know, you can drink whatever you want. So drop a note, drop a comment. What are you going to have as far as red wine with Thanksgiving? You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.